Hello guys, my name is Wilson. I'm a filmmaker and a film tutor. Welcome to this channel where I'm going to take you through the journey of filmmaking and understanding some of the things that we need to learn on filmmaking, the things that we don't learn in film schools, things that we don't get maybe to interact with them while we're in classes, in those film classes and film school. And I'm going to take you through an experience into sets, into what we need to understand when it comes to production. And guys, make sure you stick around, subscribe, stick around, invite a friend who wants to learn, somebody who is in content creation, somebody who is in filmmaking, somebody who wants to start a career and build a career in filmmaking. This is your video, and please make sure you subscribe and watch towards the end, because I have some special things that I am giving out in the end, and I don't want you guys to miss out, because mazawadi nazo, yeah, zawadi ziko. So in this first video, I'm going to take you through some of the 6 elements that I rank them. I will rank them chronologically on how important they are when it comes to video production, film production, and even content creation. So what are these things? So the first thing that I'm going to delve into is the story. So how do you do your story? How do you do your scripts? Because even on this video, I did a script for it, and the script is the one that guides through the concept that we're going to do in this video. And what is a story? The story is that concept, that idea that you want to communicate in a video. And once you have the idea or a concept that you want to communicate in a video, make sure you write it down and you have a plan. Create a structure. Where are you going to begin your story from? What is the middle of the story, and how are you going to end up the story? And have that hookups that can be able to hook people into your story, that will be able to continue watching it towards till the end. This happens even if you're intending to do film production, and also have a theme in that particular story. What are you intending to communicate? What kind of mood do you want your audience to feel at the end of reading or maybe watching that particular story? So story is the number one thing that you need to consider when you get and delve into film production. The next thing that you need to understand, or maybe an element that is very, very important to me even as I look into film production or video production, is sound. That is it. So number 1 is story, number 2 is sound. So why sound? Sound helps me communicate the story, because once my sound is clear, whatever people are communicating inside that film is very clear. I'm able to hear it. I'll be able to tell the story. I'll be able to follow the story to the latter, to the end. And that is why I say sound is very important. And being that sound is something very important, also the editing bit of sound is very important when it comes to how you combine your sound and music to be able to tell your story, to be able to create a mood and even tell your story. Listen to this. Listen to what I'm doing. You are able to listen to me. You're able to follow me up to this point. At this minute, you are able to follow me because of sound. What you heard from the first minute until this minute is what is making you stay glued into this video as we continue to delve into learning about processes and elements that are very important in filmmaking. The third thing that I consider a very important element in filmmaking, or maybe video production and content creation, is the character. So who is your character? What is driving your story? Who is that part of the person in the story that is driving the story from one plot to another? So the choice of characters, the choice of people, the choice of objects and subjects that are leading, that are telling you, that you're using them to tell your story, are very, very important. Because why? These are people who are going to push your story forward. Whether you're doing a film, whether you're doing a short film, you're doing a feature film, whether you're doing a documentary, whether you're doing a podcast, a visual podcast, or an interview, or you're doing such kind of videos like this one, talking head videos, the character is very important. So in this case, I'm the character. So you're able to follow me. So am I befitting to tell you this story? Am I befitting for this particular kind of story? So that is something that you need to also consider while getting yourself into film production. So when I delve a bit, when I talk about some things to do with maybe a feature film, so people you are casting to tell the story, are they befitting? Do you have characters who are befitting that particular story? For example, you're casting somebody who is supposed to be a mother to a child. So are you looking for somebody who is going to be fit, who is going to be believable? Are your characters believable? So here we are talking about believability of those characters that you're choosing to tell your story, because these are the people who are pushing the story. So the choice of maybe me coming to look to work on this script, is my character believable? And I'll show you some of the things that I've been able to do in the course of the many videos that will be coming consecutively. And I want to urge you to stay tuned and keep subscribed as we continue to learn and understand the elements of filmmaking. So now this one takes us into the next point, which is now we're talking about the next element, the fourth element, which is camera and lighting. So this is the visual element when it comes to film production, and I know most of us, we value that so much, and then we forget the other three things that I've been able to discuss in the previous minutes. Now, why is it that camera is coming forth in my video? Because number one, I understand that we can have very good visuals, but if you don't have good sound, man, we cannot be able to tell the story. When we have good sound but we don't have a story, we don't have a structure, we don't have the beginning, the middle, the end, and we don't have a theme, a particular theme that you want to communicate, then we might not be in that particular line of order. And if again we don't have a character that is helping us communicate the story, then that's another minus. So that is why I'm arranging all these things, to be able to help you understand when you're arranging or when you're intending to start or begin a film production, a career in film production, or maybe you're intending to delve into film production, whether you're a professional, you're a beginner, you're an amateur, or an advanced. Make sure these things are very important. I'll be your professor today, and just stay tuned. Okay, fine. Professors. So, but why do professors wear their specs like this? Yes, why do they wear their specs like this? Why can't they wear their specs just in front and then? Yeah, but not all professors have what we call, okay, just that delving outside the topic. Coming back to our topic, so when we talk about cameras, we talk about the camera movements, we're talking about camera angles, we're talking about how you frame your shot, we talk about how you intend to light up your shot, how is your objects, whatever you want to communicate, are they clear? Do you have enough lighting? Have you put enough? Are you putting the right framing, and are you doing the right movements of your camera while telling that particular story? So this happens mostly when you're doing films, when you're doing feature film, when you're doing short films. Is your camera work able to resonate with the story, so that you don't lose up the audience? Even when it comes to such kind of videos, are you able? I believe I've not lost you so far. If you're lost, or if you've touched that dial going to doing something else, I think I need to do better. Yeah, I need to do better. Look at my set. Yeah. So okay, coming back to it now, lighting. So lighting comes up with design. How you design your lighting to tell up a story is very, very important, because that one facilitates and enhances the mood of that picture, that visual that you intend to use to communicate a story or to tell that particular story. Then this takes us to the next element, which comes to what we call production design. Production design is what? Production design involves the locations you choose, the set design you do for your story, and even the makeup, the hair and makeup, the SFX, and even the choices of colors, costumes, and all those things. So when it comes to film production, the kind of design you're doing, is it resonating to the story? Is it resonating? The kind of colors you're choosing for your costume, the kind of colors that you're choosing, the kind of location that you've chosen to use to tell this particular story, is it resonating with the story? So this is something very important that you need to also factor in, but now it is factored in after the other elements you've been able to look at. They are considered complete and very, very nicely done. So now Production design involves so many elements, which include set design. This includes the locations that you're doing. If you're doing on real locations, well and good. If you're doing on locations, maybe sound stages, and you've been able to create a space for that, it is something that you make sure that this thing is befitting that particular scene, and it's able to tell the story. Even the kind of makeup you're doing on your characters, the kind of costume you're dressing your characters, they should be able to complement and tell the story as you intend for the audience to feel. So when you're telling stories, we are just basically communicating and we want to bring out feelings to the audience. So what are the audiences feeling? What is the kind of emotion we want to extract from our audiences? And that comes with such kind of things when you do proper design, because if you want to make it believable, believe you me, there are people who will be done makeup to look very old, and they will be able to be believable telling the story that they are very old people. But like a movie I watched recently, and the lady who was done makeup is a lady I know is very, very young, but the makeup that she was done was very, very perfect, and it was able to tell the story, and it was befitting the story. So such kind of things are production design, and that things comes in at number 5, because you can be, when you're doing characterization, sometimes you might miss the right character for that, but now you have to build up characters, because this is, maybe it's not an animation, it might be animation. It's easy, you can be able to maybe morph and create characters on the project or on the softwares based on how you want them. But when it comes to real people, you're working with the real people, you're dealing with the real characters. This now dictates you to be able to look for them, whether you're looking for them through auditions or you're looking for them through maybe you have a particular character and you want to make them old, you want to make them young. That is now calling upon you doing such kind of stuff, like called SFX or VFX. When it comes to post-production, we look at that. So, and now this one takes us to the next element, which is post-production. So what is post-production? Of course, post-production involves now arranging all these things together. You have your script, you have your actors, you've done your shoot. Now you have, after doing your shoot, you are recording sound, and you are recording sound, and you're recording the picture. And now once you have this recorded and all these things are put together, you coming up with a project. Now that is what we call post-production. Post-production involves some of the things such as editing. This is whereby you come up with, assemble all the data in terms of you cutting the data to tell a story using that blueprint. So your script will be a blueprint of how you want your video or content to appear at the end of it all. So of course, when we were shooting this content, we came up with a script and we analyzed on how we wanted it to flow from the beginning all the way to the end. And then that is a blueprint, a guide to how the script, a guide to how we are going to do it. And now how we did it, did it match to how we edited the final video? The way you are watching it right now, is it matching to what we had? Because the script was basically a blueprint to guide what we are going to come up with as our final output. So now, because you are watching this right now, this is our final output based on the blueprint that we created from the beginning, what I called the story. And now when it comes to editing, that is what you use. In post-production, we also look at sound. Editing or sound mixing is a very important aspect when it comes to post-production, because this one involves you mixing up music and the dialogues, and to be able to create a mood. Is it befitting the mood? Whatever emotion you want to communicate to the audience, or whatever emotion you want the audience to feel, is it resonating? And that is why it is very, very important when you working on post-production to be able to consider factors such as sound mixing as a very important thing. And then again, we have in post-production, we have something we call VFX. These are visual effects, and also things to do with color grading, and again coming into doing things to do with graphics and text. So those are some of the most important elements that you need to consider while you are entering into this journey of video production, content creation, and even filmmaking. So number 1, remember I told you it's story. Number 2, we have sound. Number 3 is characters. Number 4, we have camera and lighting. And number 5, we have production design. And then number 6, we have post-production. So we will be looking at each of them individually in our consecutive videos, where we'll be able to delve and understand why is sound very important, why is story important, why is post-production important, and why is even production design and even camera work very, very important. So stay tuned, and if you're watching until this end, I want to congratulate you and I want to thank you even for staying tuned and loving this content. Make sure you share this content with your friends, on those people who want to learn about production, and make sure they have subscribed to this channel to be able to continue getting materials and accessing some of the contents that I'll be sharing based on film production, content creation, and video production in this world. Thank you so much. Now, before I sign out, I promised kuna zawadi for all those people who are watching, and for the first 3 people who are going to comment on this particular video, I have credit for you. So why am I giving you this particular gift as credit? Because I want you guys to go into buy data bundles and be able to watch more videos as I take you through these lessons and understanding this journey of filmmaking, because it's something that most of us have invested, because some of us, when we were growing into it, we had fear of what is going to happen. But right now, because we have a clear vision of where we are heading to, it is because now we are doing this just to encourage other people to be able to understand this process and to be able to appreciate it. And guys, appreciate my set. So this is my set. I'm doing this in an office, and still I'll be coming to you through maybe other platforms and maybe other places where I'll be visiting, and just having to understand that, yeah, the dynamics of film. Sometimes I take you behind the scenes of whatever I'll be shooting, and maybe sometimes I'll be able to just share with you my set and my environment. And please, if you have any questions, and maybe if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out through the comment section. Feel free to reach out through this particular email, and stay tuned and stay put as I bring you more content. And adios. Thank you so much. Yeah, I did it. That was the first episode. Wow, I did it. That was the first episode. Hey.